to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler.
$11:02. You're riding with The Lock Shop. Thank you very much for being here. Dustin Nielson with you. Huss is going to be joining shortly. Sorry, I just had something. Oh, that's a flashback. Yeah, okay, never mind. My buddy was texting me about McDavid. I was like, what is this? Is this new? What is this? It was just a flashback to McDavid freaking out last year against Florida and how he's just not going to allow this team to lose. That's how I feel. Anyway, let's go. Hammer the thumbs up if you're watching over on YouTube. It is The Lock Shop. We are brought to you by our partners over at Play Alberta, where you can find the EST Specials tab. If you've not yet downloaded the app, download the app. Oh, I got a little boost on the Brad Marchand point as well. These guys are just dishing out boosts like crazy over at PA right now. Terrific. The Brad Marchand over 0.5 points. So Brad Marchand point was plus 108. But they've put it up on the special bets page at plus 115. He's a point per game guy in the playoffs. I don't think they've adjusted the number properly yet at books. So Brad Marchand with a point tonight, plus 115. That's already over on our EST specials page. And then the early bird bet, Oilers to win the series. Now is the time. It was minus 111 yesterday. They lose game one. It was plus 150. I was exchanging messages with the team over at Play Alberta. I say, listen, it's plus 150. I want to make it the early bird bet of the day, but can we get a boost on it up until puck drop prior to game two? And I swear to God, they messaged me back and said, how much of a boost do you think? which is awesome to have a sportsbook message you back and say, what do you think the number should be? I will forever be grateful to have this type of relationship with Play Alberta. Plus 165. So we boosted it from plus 150 to plus 165. I've never had a book say, what do you think the number should be? So that's cool. If you have not yet used our bonus codes for the month, you can use those as well. $5 deposit, $50 free bet with the code YAG50, YG50, new and existing players. Also, a $20 deposit or more, $100 free bet for new and existing players using the code 100sports. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Hangout was a good one today. Jasmine, Tommy, and Maddie, always a great combination there. Huss is going to join us from Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up. Is this what it's like to play against the Dallas Stars? We will get to that. I would suggest using your free bets at Play Alberta, but waiting until the final moment in an Indiana Pacers game and then hammering them when they're down 7 or 9 in the final 60 seconds, because that's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. They're on an all-time run right now as well. So maybe we'll talk a little association. Congratulations, Trev. You are on the verge of beating Zach in Tecmo. Is that what I'm watching right now on Twitch?
That is correct. As soon as I set up Hustler here, I'm going to go finish the job.
Finish off the job against the Southside Scallops.
A very tough job it was today.
Even AA baseball teams don't like the name Southside Scallops.
No one does.
And they have some of the craziest names in minor league ball. But that's
our Zach.
That's been a tough one. All right, we'll get to Huss here momentarily. Let's bring him in now. WST coming up at noon Edmonton time today. Huss, what's up, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I watched the game last night.
Yeah,
and we'll get to the game in a moment. But obviously, we're very envious of you guys being in the conference finals. Final Four, having a chance to go to play for the cup again. But I got to tell you, there is something emotionally freeing about not being
you bastard
crazy stress ball for an entire hockey game last night. I just realized how tightly wound I'd been for the last month with these Jets games all being so close, long series. I actually, for the first time in a month, really just relaxed while watching a game last night. Now, that's of no solace to everyone in Edmonton because you got a chance to see the good from the Oilers and then what makes the Dallas Stars a very serious and tough out. But
is that what the Jets dealt with too, Huss? Like the Oilers were the better team through 40 minutes, 5-on-5, and then they got into severe penalty trouble and Dallas just killed them. Is that how it was for the Jets as well? Is this what you as a city just went through?
I mean, listen, the avalanche of goals in the third period actually was more resembling the series against St. Louis, where the Jets would be playing well. They let in a goal and then it would just completely implode like it did on the Oilers. But yes, I mean, like if you go back through the Jets Stars series, the first game was really tight. I mean, the Jets sort of, they should have won that hockey game. They outshot them. They outchanced them. Rantanen, made a couple of huge plays in the second period, had his natural hat trick. They lose 3-2. They got 2 convincing shutout wins at home. The 2 wins on the road. I mean, I think you could say Dallas was the better team in game 3. But again, this is a 2-2 game in the third period that turns on a very controversial goal that most people thought shouldn't have counted. And then in game 4, dude, I walked out of that building going, how the hell did we lose that game? I mean, the shot attempts, I think, were 75-42 in game 4. And listen, Jake Ottinger was brilliant at times, and that really, to me, was the difference. But the Dallas Stars, I mean, there wasn't a game where they were like, oh, wow, okay, this is a team that, they can't beat. And that's why, if anything, this is a good time to bet the Oilers, I think. I don't see that sort of implosion happening moving forward. And I thought the way they spoke and handled the loss afterwards was very mature. I mean, that sounded like a team that had been there. They'd seen a lot. But, man, it got away. And I'll tell you, as someone that was in Dallas at American Airlines Center for games 3 and 4 of the last round, the PTSD from hearing that goddamn Dallas Stars, Dallas Stars.
Horror. I hate that chant.
The goal line was the goal horn and the goal chant was literally going the entire third period. It was crazy. Let me ask you this. You did the show today. I know Tommy did the post game. I didn't catch it last night. Who's everyone mad at today? I always like to, you pull the fan bases and you see what the tweets and the texts are. And there's always a list of guys that fans are mad at. Who's taking the bullets today after game 1?
Can I give you one guess?
The Stuart Skinner?
100%. Yeah. I mean, there's the same people have popped up again. I mean, I didn't like his 4th goal, but Corey Perry took a stupid penalty and Evander Kane took a careless penalty at times when your team was still doing okay. Like to me, the undisciplined penalties they took was the reason they lost. Not that I'm going to hang a loss on Perry or Kane, but I'm also not hanging last night's loss on Stuart Skinner. I had somebody last night on Twitter who's like, Dusty, I think they should start Olivier Rodrigue next game.
I saw that.
Yeah. Do you see that one? Like Stuart Skinner just had the 4th longest shutout streak in franchise history. I also had somebody last night who replied to one of my tweets and said, Dusty, I blame Skinner for all 5 goals last night. And I was like, come on, you guys. So Skinner's just the designated whipping boy for, I don't know, like 20% of the fan base. I think a lot of the fan base is pretty reasonable about stuff, which is good. But yeah, the complaint I saw most about was Skinner. But I also think it's just a team that took some dumb penalties and couldn't kill them off. I mean, that's going to happen sometimes. But the Dallas power play is over 30% in the playoffs. So got to be careful.
Against Winnipeg. I mean, if you look at all the 5-on-5 metrics analytics, the Jets were better. They were not able to capitalize on their power play chances, and the Dallas Stars made them play. I mean, I think back to game 4, the game that we really kind of regret not getting. It was 2 power play goals. One wasn't a particularly good one on Hellebuck, which kind of stung. One was an incredible shot by Granlund, which we saw another one last night. But yeah, stay out of the box. I mean, it's pretty simple. That is a team that I think the Edmonton Oilers are better at and are going to win 7 or 8 out of 10 times if they're playing at 5-on-5. But if you get into a special teams battle with the Dallas Stars, it can go very, very badly. And that's exactly what happened last night.
Yeah, I still feel really good about the Oilers. I've been telling people to hammer them today. We got to boost it to plus 165 on the number for the Oilers in this series. And I mean, I love the way they played 5-on-5 for the first 40 minutes. Like Draisaitl looked significantly more dangerous offensively in last night's first two periods than at any point against Vegas in the last round. McDavid was absolutely buzzing. You'll love this. Wyatt Johnston was -2, so he goes to -15 in the playoffs, which is just
how
incredible.
He got victimized. That goal by Dry early on was just absolutely filthy.
Yeah.
I mean, and McDavid looked incredible last night. Like, give credit where credit is due. I thought Jake Ottinger made some massive saves in the first period and to some extent the second as well, that prevented the Oilers from completely breaking that game wide open and have it be over basically after 40 minutes. But, listen, think about what they did against Colorado, down 2-0 in the third period of Game 7. That is a team that you really have to you got to wait till that clock is at 0 to know that you won a hockey game. And as great as it looked at for 40 minutes, it completely turned in that third period. And they'll have some work to do. But, I mean, listen, I think they got to go in and with the goal of getting a split. I have a feeling that the Oilers, I don't regret betting the Oilers last night at plus 110. I still think that was the right side to be on. And I'll be back at the window tomorrow on the Edmonton Oilers, looking to get a sweep and come back. And I'm with you. I think now, based on what we saw last night, and I know the number will switch, and if you're talking about plus 155, plus 165, how can you not look at that game and think that the Oilers have the talent to win that series?
Yeah. Yeah, and I said, even the way they lost, like the Oilers have lost 4 games now in the playoffs. The game 1 against the Kings was amazing third period comeback, and then a goal in the final minute, which was an absolute heartbreaker. And people were coming in the next morning saying, I cannot believe that's what we witnessed last night. And then the game against Vegas, the only loss in that series. Leon Draisaitl puts a puck in his own net with 0.4 seconds left. And people are coming in saying, I cannot believe we lost that way. And then yesterday, it's the one game in the series that fans will come in and go, I cannot believe they blew that lead the way that they did in the third period. Like the Oilers have already dealt with a similar situation multiple times in the playoffs and have bounced back stronger from it. So unless this team is significantly different, and unless the Stars have a better 5-on-5 game coming at some point, and not just last night, but their entire stretch of the playoffs would suggest that they don't. And I thought the Oilers did a pretty good job on the Rantanen line last night at 5-on-5. I mean, their 2 5-on-5 goals came from Tyler Seguin. So that's another positive reason that I really like the Oilers still moving forward.
It was wild. That one goal, the entire Finnish Mafia was out on the ice, eh? All
on the power play? Yeah.
I mean, they're good. They're good. Rantanen is a stud. But to me, I think we saw, like, as great as the players on the Dallas Stars are and their star ends, Heiskanen, I mean, absolute stud. It's amazing to see him doing what he's doing right now, considering the injury he had. And Rantanen, Rupi Hintz, to me, is one of the most underrated centers in the entire league. McDavid in particular, but and Draisaitl to me are still on another plateau above those guys, and they look great last night. I think that this is going to be this is not a setback, everybody. This is an opportunity to get the Oilers at a nice plus number, because I think you got to look at that game and realize that it is right there for the taking, and I expect a more thorough 60-minute performance from the club with a little bit more discipline. And I think they should be fine.
I would agree. I think they'll be fine as well. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. Sticking with the National Hockey League, Huss, we get to run it back here with Florida and Carolina tonight. I have a hard time betting on the Hurricanes until they show me that they can actually win a conference final playoff game. Like they're the favorites again. I get it. I understand it. The books have loved them all year, but I just don't know if I can be fooled into betting on the Canes until they show me they're actually capable of winning a game.
Listen, I got burnt in game 1. I mean, I said, listen, okay, Florida just finished this 7-game marathon with the Leafs. They've got 1 day off. They're not even going home. Carolina has been sitting there for a week, getting ready for this game. They're at home. They have to put their best foot forward and get a damn win after losing 12 straight games in the conference finals. And then Florida just goes in and takes care of business. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, and to be honest, I think now that like this streak has to be in their heads. And as we talked about yesterday, both with Florida and Edmonton, after getting to the final last year and going the distance in 7, listen, the Oilers may have missed an opportunity to get off to a really good start and have that one win, but Florida didn't. They got it done. And when you think about the players on the Panthers like Matthew Tkachuk that are dealing with stuff right now, if they can repeat history and make it a short series, it'll give them a huge advantage over either Dallas or Edmonton, which I think now is going to go at least 6 games after what we saw last night. So don't put it by the Panthers just to go out and do it again. I mean, when you look at the way they played in game 7 against the Leafs, as much as we're killing the Leafs and has been fun and everyone's been piling on, that performance by Florida was as good as you're going to see from any team in the playoffs up to this point. I mean, they were so relentless. It was like a junior team playing against a bantam team. So, I mean, listen, when they're on, I mean, I will say this, there's not a lot of shame in losing to the Florida Panthers at their best in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's why they're the champs. But I don't know.
That's what somebody said yesterday. I don't know if I brought it up in the lock shop yesterday, but an Oilers fan did text in and say, Dusty, I will be disappointed if the Oilers lose to the Panthers in the Stanley Cup final, but I also just have to tip my hat to Florida Panthers, and they say they're a hell of a hockey team if that happens again. Like,
yeah, it's not easy to beat the Edmonton Oilers in the playoffs. Not a lot of teams have done it. And I mean, it was only the Panthers after they rolled through 3 other teams. They've already taken 2 down. But, you mentioned the situation that the Oilers in. Like, I reminded somebody that this team was done, finished in the first round, game 3. Like, oh my God, they're going to go down 3-0. The Kings getting all their luck. And then
Byfield's got to clear the zone, man.
Think of how bad they looked in a couple of those games early on. Like, we were joking, that team that couldn't defend, couldn't do anything. And what was it, game 1 or game 2 of that series against LA? Then goes and puts out back-to-back shutouts in the last round, playing against an incredible Vegas team that can do a lot. So listen, I think you got to look at the body of work that the Edmonton Oilers have been done in the playoffs over the last couple of years, but especially right now, and realize that, yeah, one got away on them last night. Don't let it happen again. This is a team that's good enough to beat the Dallas Stars in a best of 7. You're only down 1. Get that split and get back to Rogers. What are your games? Are they Saturday?
No, it's we got Friday night, and then a Sunday matinee 1:00 Edmonton start.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's not good.
Ooh is right. I hate it on a number of different levels.
Hate the matinee games. And also, I think it's a big advantage to the road team in those games. Just that now listen, conference finals, Edmonton's going to be showing up for their team, and people are going to be ready to go. But I'm sure you're with me. The atmosphere of a 1 o'clock local
it's just
start
not the
is a
same.
hell of a lot different than 7:30, 8 p.m. when people have been pre-gaming, you've been building up to it all night. So, well, listen, bottom line is whatever time they're dropping the puck, you got to be ready to go. And they were ready to go last night. They just weren't able to finish the job in that third period. But I don't see that happening again.
780-218-9999, 780-218-9999, or you can hit us up over on the Nasty Chat as well. We'll take a little bit of a closer look here at this Panthers game in just a second, but a couple of texts. Ranger Nick texts in and says, I just hope this loss doesn't cost them later on. You know how it plays out. They lose in game 7. We look back and say, man, if only they had hung on in game 1. Yeah, but I mean, you can kind of do that about pretty much every loss in a series,
Well, Okay, listen, that one stings a little bit for me because, as I mentioned, that series with Winnipeg and Dallas, that first game was there for the taking. And, Dallas ends up winning 3-2. And I remember Scott Arniel saying afterwards, like, he was really pissed off afterwards. He goes, we just handed them home ice advantage. Obviously, this wasn't the case because the Oilers were on the road, but had the opportunity to take it back from them. But when we did our autopsy of the loss in 6 games, there were 2 things that stood up from the Jets fashion. Not winning game 4 in Dallas when they were clearly the better team, but a lot of it actually came back to game 1 because that was the only road win of the entire series. The Jets were the better team, but again, much like, these teams that go 7 and then start back up right away, like there was a little bit of a hangover from that incredible finish in game 7 with the Perfetti goal and all that. So, every game matters. And listen, to the Oilers' credit, they have been down in worse situations than this before in the playoffs. So I don't think anybody panicking right now, like take a step back from the ledge. But at the same time, you don't get many outs. And and listen, if it does go 7 and they lose, you will look back and go, man, game 1, oh yeah. But I think there's enough experience in that room. I mean, I'm sure you guys listened and played to it. I mean, listening to what Knobloch had to say.
We got to Draisaitl. We played Draisaitl's post game today. Yeah, I thought he was great.
He exuded confidence. They're not going to dwell on what happened. They're not throwing anybody under the bus. They know that they can win this series. They didn't get this one. They'll go out and get the next one. And then the important thing is if they can do that, they got to be able to hold serve at home. And listen, Dallas snuck that one game in game 1 of the series against the Jets, but then didn't score another goal in Winnipeg the rest of the way. So they've been a great home team. What can I tell you? I mean, the Jets weren't able to crack it. Oilers weren't last night, but I feel they're close, and I think they will get that win.
There was a number of different reasons the Oilers lost last night, according to some listeners and viewers today. I think a couple of my favorite ones were the Oilers are now 0-1 with Chris Cuthbert on the call. So that could be a reason. We had some people, it popped up in the chat this morning and it was on Twitter last night because somebody put a picture out. But Big Uke and Rob from the Grove last night, we were at Boston Pizza Westgate. Great crowd last night. Like over half that lounge was just nasties. It was awesome. And the thing that we do at Boston Pizza is they're giving away a ton of shirts and stuff. So anytime somebody wins a shirt of BP's, all the nasties start chanting, wear what you win. Wear what you win. So Big Uke, who's probably a triple XL, I would say. I think, and Buke's in the chat. I think it was a women's medium. And so he jams into this, and it was also tight on Rob. These guys get these shirts on, and we put out a picture of them in them, and they're green. And somebody's like, the Oilers lost because those fans put on green shirts at the pub last night, and Dallas is wearing green. Like, it's just, and people will find anything to blame for the loss. And those were my 2 favorite ones from last night.
There's been, Jody Cerner. You, Connor, and Dry can get pissed all want. They can't stop Bettman.
That's from an officiating perspective, I think.
A Gary Bettman conspiracy here.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I mean, what is someone saying that those weren't penalties?
Well, there was a big argument about the Duchesne one and I do think Sportsnet botched the one replay to show because they showed the stick coming down. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, where's the real replay?
That replay made it look like he was completely thinking it, but that wasn't the case. I mean, he did sell it pretty good though.
Whoever cut to that replay should be fired. I mean, that's a huge moment in the game. He did sell it pretty good, but then we did tweet out some pictures after. Kane's stick was right here on his chin.
Yeah.
And, I would expect the Oilers to kind of do the same thing. If you feel a stick on your chin, your head is going to go back like that. Like, it was a high stick. It was. So, I thought the penalties, I didn't like the hook on Kulak late in the second. But the Kane penalty was a penalty and Perry's penalty was a penalty. Like, those are just undisciplined plays. You have to be... We had Luke Gazdick on this morning, and Gazdick said, he goes, there's 2 things coaches absolutely hate when it comes to penalties. High sticks and too many men, obviously, on the ice. It's just like you're not paying attention. keep care of your stick. And that's what happened. So, I don't think they lost that game last night because of officiating. They lost the game last night because they took dumb penalties.
Yeah, listen, there was way too many. Although the Oilers did get, like, what was the Harley interference penalty on Janmark? He just gave him that little shot. He went down. I mean, listen, if you're worried that the refs are conspiring against you, folks, don't be. I mean, you got to keep your stick down. Dallas was terrible with that in the first round. I mean, Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin both took, I want to say, 3 or 4 stick penalties. Seguin had a double minor right at the start of game 2, which ended up boom, Jets scored and, never looked back. So, I mean, listen, those are going to get called every time. And there is an element of discipline. But I'll tell you what, the whole Gary Bettman theory, I think the National Hockey League would far rather the Edmonton Oilers win this series than the Dallas Stars. Like, having the champs and McDavid's star power transcends country, transcends smaller market Edmonton. I mean, he is, in a lot of ways, the poster boy for the league. Like, you don't think they want him having an opportunity to finally win a championship and get there with many of the other top players in other sports that have already done it? I wouldn't worry about it. You've got to take care of business, have a little bit more success on Jake Ottinger. But man, tighten up that PK and stay out of the box. And I don't think we'll be talking about any Gary Bettman conspiracies or anything like that, because I think the Oilers will be winning the game.
I was extremely positive on the show this morning, and I think people hated it. I don't think they liked how calm I was about the current situation. Did
they hate Draisaitl being calm about the current situation? They want him to be losing?
That's a fair point. I love Draisaitl's availability. Him and McDavid they're on a mission right now, and I don't think it's going to be.
To me, that should instill confidence. Like, you don't have to lose your mind every single time one thing doesn't go your way. No, listen, it was a bit of a spectacular implosion. And I know a thing or two about that, considering what's happened to the Jets at times on the road in these playoffs. But to me, like, I listened to those guys after the game. There was absolutely no panic. They realized that there were some things that they did that they cannot do again. But this isn't a young team, and it's not an immature team. And, the way that they have come out of far worse holes early in the playoffs, I think, have steeled them for moments like this. And this is why I feel really good about their chances, actually, if they get through this against Florida, getting another crack. Because when it comes down to it, we saw that in the first period. There is a level that a couple of the guys on the Oilers are able to get to that nobody else can. And I mean, guys, nothing's assumed. Nothing's easy right now in the Stanley Cup playoffs. You're talking about the 4 best teams in the NHL. I mean, you don't just show up and get 2 points for attending. Even if you have McDavid and Draisaitl, I mean, it's gonna take some work. And listen, this is a setback. There's no doubt about it. And there's obviously regret in the room. But I didn't get a hint of panic. I mean, hey, you know what? It happens. They're going to move on. And to me, this is no time to lose your mind after one game. Hey, go out and lay an egg and look like the Leafs in game 7 and game number 2, then have at her. But, I mean, until that happens, I think the other team's in a very, very good situation. You know who else is in a good situation, Dusty? The Indiana Pacers.
Man, they're in a ridiculous situation.
Plus 158 on the money line last night.
You get them on the money line? Nice work.
Never in doubt. Well, you know what? I went with both of the underdogs last night. And I'm thinking, okay, we're getting plus money on the Oilers. We're getting plus money on the Pacers. I really liked the Oilers last night. And I thought, well, to me, I think that Indiana's undervalued. This could happen. Now, I'll be honest. I was paying mostly attention to the hockey game. And when I saw that they were down 14 with 2.5 minutes left, admittedly, I had mentally ripped up that ticket in my head. And then all of a sudden, we're looking at, and how about that play by Halliburton on the last play? Like, he gets it. He runs out to the 3-point line. They only needed 2.
Yeah, well, he had it. Looked like he was going to go for 2. And then sort of bobbled, right? And he just sort of decided he was going to go chuck up a 3 instead.
For the throw. And what an insane, like off the iron, 15 feet in the air, perfectly through. He starts doing the Reggie Miller choke sign, which was incredible. And then they review it and his foot was on the line and they got to go to OT. Can you imagine if they lost?
Well, that I said to myself last night when I watched it all go down, and I said on the show again this morning, I mean, if they lose in overtime, that choke job image lives on in infamy. Because he thought he ended it, right? He thought he had a 3, so he was. And I don't know if you saw the number last night, but prior to last night in the playoffs, NBA teams leading by 9 points or more in the final minute were 1,434-0. And then the Pacers were the first team ever to overcome a 9-point deficit in the final minute of a playoff game. The other 1,430 or whatever it was teams managed to lock it up, but the Knicks were not able to do it tonight. And the Pacers have done this 3 times, Huss. They were down 7 against Cleveland in the final minute, came back and won. They were down 7 against Milwaukee in the final minute, came back and won. And last night they were down 9 in the final minute and came back and won. Most teams don't have that happen once ever. They've had it happen 3 times in every round so far. If you ever have an argument for a team of destiny, the Pacers somehow pulling these things out of thin air over and over and over again is absolutely remarkable. It's crazy.
Does this, you follow the NBA closer than I do. Let me ask you this. Is this series basically in the big picture inconsequential because whoever wins is going to get absolutely run out the gym by the OKC Thunder?
Man, that's a good question. Maybe. I don't want it to be, so I think I'm fighting it a little bit. I'd want it to be a good series, but you're thinking like an OK sweep or OKC in 5 by 10 a game type of thing. That's what you're thinking, like if it gets there.
I mean, yeah. And
they're much deeper teams than than the Knicks and the Pacers. I mean, I will say that.
We've seen, they're like minus money and all the other teams are like still pretty big underdogs to win the title. But let's talk about this game tonight. So OKC's 7-point favorites again. I actually took it to 7.5 in game 1 and they won by 30 or whatever. What do you think about this spot? I mean, is this more, because the Thunder are one of those teams that if they're going to beat you, it often, with that building, they get on a hot streak. They win and they win big a lot of the time. Can Ant and the T-Wolves, like, to me, if you like Minnesota +7, I almost say jump on the money.
You should just take them on the money line. I'm looking at it at 230 right now. Like, yeah, I just been so damn impressed with Minnesota so far. But OKC is different in one fashion than what they've done so far, and that is they got past the Lakers team, and Anthony Edwards. If I'm starting a franchise today, I'm taking Anthony Edwards over SGA 100% of the time. I just am. I'm a big Anthony Edwards guy. I am. But OKC is so much bigger than the Warriors and the Lakers. And Minnesota's one advantage in those 2 series was that they had Rudy Gobert and they had Naz Reid and they had Julius Randle. And those guys were just way too big for the Lakers trying to run LeBron at a power forward or a center or trying to get 6 minutes out of Jackson Hayes. And then Golden State's big. Most of the time it's Draymond. They don't have that advantage against Oklahoma City, which I think could end up biting them in the ass in the end. Yeah, maybe Minnesota was good in the first half. They were leading for the first half, and then they just fell apart, shot the ball awful. Did you see the post game when Anthony Edwards was sitting there with Julius Randle? I love Anthony Edwards post games, probably the best post games in all of sports right now.
Character, man. He's a character.
They had they get the print off of the score sheet after the game, and they always kind of look at it. And he looked at it. And he leaned over to Julius Randle and they pointed to something on the statue and they just started laughing their asses off. And I was like, wow. After getting crushed by 30 in the second half, you're calm and cool enough to look at something. And a lot of people are like, it was probably the SGA free throw attempts because he had 14 again, and Doris Burke called him a free throw merchant. But I don't know what else it could have been. Like, I think that, and I have a hard time not believing in Anthony Edwards, but I think OKC is just so good in all areas of the game that it's going to be tough.
By the way, do you buy into that free throw merchant narrative for SGA?
I think he does an incredible job drawing free throws. Like I think because of that, his whistle might look a little bit different than other guys. And there was a couple plays in game one where it did look like a pretty good level of embellishment from him. But he's a decent 3-point shooter, but he's a slasher and a mid-range threat. Like, he's a lot different than some of these other guys now.
I saw a thing yesterday. Like, put it this way, that whole SGA just being a free throw guy is totally fake news. The guy, there was two guys on the show, and I apologize for not remembering what it was. It was something I saw on social media. It was a good clip, though. The guy says SGA has 110 free throws through 12 playoff games. And he said, where do you think that ranks all time? Like, for players, like, most free throws through 12 games. And the guy goes, top 50? No, maybe we'll say top 20. So they're saying 110 free throws through 12 games, he was thinking was maybe 20th all time. You know what the answer was? It was over 400th. This happens all the time. Like, this is commonplace. Like, it's not even, in fact, there's a list of guys in the NBA right now, in the playoffs right now, that have had more than Shai.
He's fourth in free throws attempted per game in the playoffs. Giannis was at 12. And we're talking this season. Donovan Mitchell was at 9. Doncic was at 9. And then SGA's at 9.2. You know, so even that, I mean, it's not like he's at the 12. Three higher than everybody else.
No. And you always maintain that LeBron doesn't get the calls, right?
Well, I did look it up because Farhan came at me the other night, so I decided to go dive into.
I was enjoying that. I was really enjoying that.
So I dove into some numbers. I was busy, but I still wanted to get to it. And I looked at free throw attempts this year compared to shots attempted at the rim this year. And there were 4 guys who attempted more shots within 5 feet of the hoop this year than LeBron. The other 4 guys were all top 17 in free throw attempts, and he was like 24th or 25th. So, I mean, I know people, go look at his career. I mean, he's never among the top 2, 3, 4 guys in free throw attempts in a season, despite being the guy who's around the rim most. And that's another reason SGA shoots a lot of free throws. He does slash to the hoop. I mean, he gets contact on the way to the hoop for sure. But I also think there are plays that make it an easy narrative for those who want to clip a couple plays here or there of him where, you know, he's so damn good at drawing the fouls by getting guys off their feet, kicking his legs out time to time on shots where I think it could frustrate, where it could frustrate people, and the examples are there. But, I mean, I think that's all his game is simply taking it too far. I mean, he's a lot more than just a free throw merchant. He's a good player. He's a really good player.
I'm here for OKC at this point. I still mad at Minnesota for beating Denver last year, ruining those futures that we had. So while I do like Ant, how old is Ant? He's like 24?
20. I think he might be 23. Let me just take a look. I don't know. Did you watch the movie Hustle with Adam Sandler?
No, I heard of it though.
And it's a great movie. It's like basketball Rocky. He trains this guy. Anthony Edwards is 23 right now. Anyway, Anthony Edwards is like the bad guy in Hustle. He's the other top prospect that gets in the head of the guy that Sandler's trading. And Edwards is great. Like, I think they just told him play yourself, but he's awesome in it. Anthony Edwards was great in that movie. I don't know if it's Ray Allen in He Got Game as Jesus Shuttlesworth, but it was still pretty damn good.
He's got listen, the guy's got a world-class personality.
You know, the real story here with the SGA MVP is that the Paul George trade just somehow possibly looks worse, which I didn't think could ever look worse. But if SGA also adds NBA championship this year, then the Paul George trade just gets worse and worse and worse. Paul George for 4 or 5 firsts plus 3 first-round pick swaps plus SGA. Just
every
horrendous.
now and then it's fun just to pull up the Oklahoma City future picks. So they got 2 ones this year. They got 1, 2. They've got 3 first rounders next year. They've got 2 first rounders in 2027. They've got 1 in 2028, multiple second rounders. They've got 2 in 2029. I mean,
we've said it multiple times. The Oklahoma City Thunder might be in the best position of any team in North American professional sports ever.
Sports. I mean, the only thing that is an issue for them is that, winning makes players more expensive and everyone's going to need to get paid. And of course, this was a team that a few years ago had KD and Russell Westbrook. And they, needed to end up,
James Harden. Yep.
But I mean, that sort of draft capital is. And the thing is, if you win this year, like if you're already the champs, you don't really need to go and be aggressive and trade all these picks. I mean,
no,
it's going to be
well, what you do is you keep drafting guys. So when these guys price out, you just slot another first round pick that you drafted in there.
Yeah, they've got Miami's pick at 15, and they have the Clippers pick at 24. And then, I mean, the next year they've got Philly's pick protected 1 to 4, Utah's pick protected 1 to 8. And these are terrible teams. And then, of course, swap rights. Like when the Clippers, the Clippers, who are now pretty much going in reverse, I'd say, like just imagine those swaps they've got. And they've got swaps with the Clippers. They've got swap rights with Philly, with Dallas. That's Sam Presti, man. I mean, the job that he's done, it's crazy. Because, I mean, it's not like they're getting all the hot free agents in OKC. They're sort of like the Winnipeg of the NBA, to be honest. It's kind of like a little bit of an outpost. Not the big, glitzy metropolitan area that everywhere else, but they got a GM that just went and stuck it to a couple of teams, and now they're set up as good as anyone. So where are you at on this game tonight? We got to figure this out. Is this the ad show tonight?
Well, let me just see what my Julius Randle number is, because we hit his. It was 19.5 in the first game. It's 19.5 again. He had 20 in the first half. It was pretty hot early in that game. Kind of fell off after. Let's see here. First half spread. Timberwolves plus 4.5 minus 133. Timberwolves plus 4 minus 120. I don't mind that. I don't mind like if it's a repeat of game 1. Timberwolves were pretty good in the first half. Maybe Minnesota first half plus 4 plus 4.5 minus 125 minus 133 type of thing. And then just see how it plays out in the second half. I could see something like that hitting.
I'm just looking at these numbers for like double doubles. And Anthony Edwards assists. See, the thing is, he gets a ton of points, but he's not probably going to be touching double digits in rebounds or assists.
I would bring up his game log.
The points, assists, and rebounds.
So Edwards, so far in these playoffs, only has 2 double-doubles. He had 14 rebounds in game 1 versus Golden State, and he had 11 rebounds He's got 3, 11 rebounds against the Lakers in one game, and then had 12 assists against Golden State in the clinching game.
What were his rebounds and assists in the first game of this series?
He combined for 12. He only combined for 30 total rebounds, assists, and points in the first. So I mean, that was a quiet game from his standards. What am I looking at here?
You go for big Ant game.
Yeah, like, see, so
30.
He's at, I'm looking at a number, it's 37.5 at minus 120 points, rebounds, and assists for, I don't mind that. I could get behind that one. We could throw that one into a little parlay today.
Little Ant.
Anthony, let me just see like his last few games. He had 22, 12, and 7, which would be what? That hits that number. He had 30 and 5 and 4. That hits. He had 36, 4 and 4. That would hit it. He had 29 and 5. That would just be shy. 23, 14 and 2 would have hit it. And yeah, no, let's do that. We'll throw that in there. That's a good. And then so let's just take Anthony Edwards, points, assists, and rebounds, and then do we put it with the Panthers tonight?
I like the Panthers.
Yeah, plus 110.
I'm in on the Panthers.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do.
Just having a tough time. Do I just go with my instinct and that's another comfortable OKC win at home? I think the Panthers is the play though tonight. I mean, Rod the Bot. I love Rod the Bot. I feel bad betting against him to make it 14 straight losses in the conference finals, but I'm with you. I mean, until we see differently from the Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes in this case, I think we take the plus money.
Well, and 2/3 of those losses have been with this group, right? With these types of guys. Yeah. Right. It's not dating back. The one is dating back a while, but we've seen this team go through it again. And you could sit there and go, we could have been saying this after 9 of these, like, oh, they're going to get one. You know, they're going to get one. Well, how long do we go here before we actually see it? So, all right, we'll put that together. Charles Schwab, Huss. Let's check this out before we let you take off to WST.
Yeah.
John Pack, 6 under through 14 is your leader right now. Patrick Rogers, Rio Hisatune, Matt Schmidt, Webb Simpson, Harmon's at 3 under, Batia's at 3 under, Tommy Fleetwood was 3 under today. Bobby Mack was 2 under. A lot of the big boys still out. Spieth was 1 under. Hideki was 1 under. Who else we got? JT Poston was 1 under. Mac Hughes was 2 over today. That's not good. Bunch of guys still a tee off though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the big group coming up right away.
Right away, yeah.
12:45 tee time. Last year's champion, Davis Riley, who I've got a piece on at 50-1. Berger, who was 25-1, and then Scotty Scheffler, the shortest favorite in a tournament on the PGA Tour in literally forever. Probably since Prime Tiger. Like, I don't think we've ever had somebody that's, plus 250, plus 240, whatever it is. I'm looking. Well, by the way, you saw Scheffler at the game last night too, eh?
He was at the game last night, yeah.
Just kicking back. Little different than Brooks Koepka's act after winning the PGA Championship a couple of years ago. Remember when he was there with the Panthers yelling at Aaron Ekblad, calling him a traffic cone?
That's right. Brooks. That was funny. He was into it a little bit. He was having a good time.
He was into it. Hey, you win a major, you can get after it. But I'm not too worried that Scotty Scheffler was having a great time last night. He'll be ready to go. Obviously, we can't bet first-round leaders right now, but knowing that it's only John Pack that is above 4 under par right now, I think we'll see. I unloaded on Scheffler. I didn't play a bunch of other ones. I just made a much bigger bet on Scotty for this one and said, screw it.
What's coming up? WST, buddy.
What do we have today on WST? We're actually going to start talking a little CFL.
Yeah, my man. That's what I'm talking. When does the podcast return?
Next week.
Good.
Next week, Jeff Hamilton and I will be doing, I think we're going to do one big question for each team heading into the season. And then we'll hit some of our favorite CFL futures. Obviously, we'll be getting to that on the Lock Shop as well next week. And then, the following week, the following week will be Tuesday. And then I'm heading out to Canadian Open the next day, which will be fun. Hooking up with the fellas out there, and Mayo and Feinberg, they're going to be doing their live show out there. So that'll be fun. Get to a Jays game or two and see. Like, I'm pumped to go to the Open. I mean, Rory's going to be playing. It'll be great. I just found out how they call it TPC Toronto. It is not in Toronto. It is barely in the GTA. Apparently, it takes like an hour and a half to get there. So, going to be some interesting travel situations to get out there. But yeah, that'll be a heck of a lot of fun. But in the meantime, we are firing up CFL 110. I think next Tuesday, right after Winnipeg Sports Talk, it'll premiere the first issue. And Tuesdays throughout the year, we'll have a little bit of extra CFL content for you folks. How are the vibes around the Elks? I saw you guys. You were out.
Yeah, we were fan day. It's good, man.
Were there.
Yeah, no, kids love it. It's a great time. I mean, they brought in a championship defensive line. They brought in a bunch of guys who've played together and won a Grey Cup on the defensive line, which I think is pretty important. And I think that'll go a long way. And then we'll see how the offense holds up. I think it should be good again. They've got 2 great running backs back. They brought in David Beard to help the offensive line. They signed Alexander Hollins kind of late in the offseason. And a couple of years ago, he might have been the best deep threat in the entire league. So that's a nice addition as well. And then they got Trey Ford and Cody Fajardo, which is a pretty good 1-2 punch at quarterback as well. So vibes are high here, Huss. Vibes are very high in Edmonton right now. So
it's been sad to see what has become of the Double E over the last number of years. But it seems like they're going in the right direction. How's the new owner? Is he all fired up for the new season?
Well, I am wearing his shirt right now. I've got that They See Me Rolling shirt where he drove through the Stampeders bench last year. They've got it on his shirt. I happen to have that on right now. So good question. I think, yeah, I mean, I hope it's good vibes. If they got to get off to a good start. Right? Like you can't start 0-3 and tell people things are different. Even I can't spin that one. Like, yeah, we're 0-10. All right, WST is coming up. Huss, we'll let you slide out, buddy, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow.
Folks, have a good one. Keep the faith. Oilers win game 2. Take it back home. Nothing to worry about.
See
that's a better number when you're betting it.
That's an out-of-market guy saying it, and he's right. It's the number that you can play right now on this, especially from a lock shop perspective. The early bird bet, plus 165. Oilers to win the series, it's boosted. So if you were to go right now and just click on NHL and outrights, you wouldn't get it at plus 165. You get that on the specials page, the EST specials page over at Play Alberta. Dusty's play of the day, plus 115 as well. And then obviously the early bird bet, plus 165. And I did send the Lock Shop Partner Parlay over. The boys say they are on it. That'll be the Florida Panthers money line and Anthony Edwards over 37.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So you can find all of that over at Play Alberta. Download the app if you have not already. And once you get used to it, it's actually pretty smooth operation. And 2 guys and goalies coming up. We will once again take a dive into the Edmonton Oilers falling apart on the penalty kill in the 3rd period of Game 1. Myself, Cass, and Gager locked and loaded for you on that front. That is going to do it for the Lock Shop today. Thank you very much for being here. Best of luck if you're riding with us tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.